Hello guys, we are going to talk about a drama thriller series called Vis-a-Vis from 2015. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. Young Macarena is imprisoned and faces 7 years in a women's prison. But the fact is that the girl claims that this is a miscarriage of justice and she should be released in a few days. In order not to traumatize the psyche of her elderly parents, Macarena lies to them and says that she went on a long trip on a yacht with her friend. Soon the girl, along with other new prisoners, is taken to prison where rather strict rules prevail. All her unnecessary belongings are taken away from the completely confused Macarena, promising to return them in 7 years. She is given prison clothes instead. Later, the warden, Paloma, explains to the girls the rules of behavior in prison and advises them not to get involved with evil women, so as not to increase their already long sentence. The new girls are stripped naked and searched, even in inaccessible places, to make sure that no one has brought any illegal substances with them. Then, the girls are taken to their cells in the prison, and the girls behind bars promise to arrange a night of love for them. Macarena is placed in a cell with a very angry Zulema. The woman jumps out of her bed and brazenly orders Paloma to put the new girl in another prison cell. As it turns out, Zulema is clearly taking advantage of her privileged position here, threatening to show her who's boss otherwise. The warden initially refuses, but soon realizes that Zulema will make the new inmate's life a living hell. She then orders the warden Fabio to move the girl to another prison cell. Fabio takes Macarena to cell 225, where she is greeted quite friendly by Sol, Annabelle, and Yolanda. However, Macarena lies down on her bed, covers herself with a blanket, and cries quietly from her desperate situation. Her cellmates turn out to be quite adequate people and teach Macarena how to make her bed. Macarena continues to claim that she was put here by mistake. Meanwhile, Sol confesses that she burned her husband with his mistress because he cheated on her and humiliated her. Paloma receives a video on her phone where she sees that some intruders are freely entering her house, and if they wish, they can easily kill her newborn children. The boss realizes that it is Zulema's accomplices who are trying to intimidate her into fulfilling all the demands of the impudent woman. Zulema calls Paloma to her office and tells her to give her a pass from the CCTV room. Annabelle shares that she had a great business with gorgeous girls on the outside, but the cops found the owner and sent her to prison. Annabelle promises to find the best lawyer for Macarena. On her first night in jail, Macarena starts to panic. Then Yolanda calms the newcomer down and offers her her hand. The girl notices a tattoo in the form of the number 8. It is a lucky number in China. Macarena recalls her boss, with whom she was in love, and for whom she committed a series of financial offenses that landed her in prison. At night, Zulema appears and invites Yolanda to smoke. However, a few hours later, the guards find Yolanda's dead body. The doctor says that it was definitely not an accidental death and calls the cops. In the morning, Macarena tells the girls that Yolanda went out for a smoke with Zulema that night. Sol warns the new girl to watch her words and not to ask for help from others, because if she fails to repay the debt on time, she will be turned into a girl who will do all the dirtiest errands for her master. Meanwhile, all the prisoners go to the communal shower, where Zulema gives a woman his maid for a small fee to use her dirty. The curly-haired girl offers Macarena to become her girlfriend in prison. Macarena politely declines the offer. The curly-haired girl explains to her that they don't have much choice in this regard. The arriving policemen state that Yolanda was killed by a jet of hot steam. At breakfast, Macarena is unable to eat anything, and Fabio threatens her with the idea that if she doesn't eat anything, he will force her to eat breakfast. Macarena is shocked to learn that Yolanda has died, but she doesn't have time to talk about Zulema, as her neighbor immediately sits down at the table, forcing the guard to leave. Sol says that Yolanda was a target for many in prison. The girl and her boyfriend robbed a collection van for 9 million euros. Her fiancé was killed by the cops, and Yolanda was thrown in prison. But the fact is that the stolen money was never found. The police are sure that the robber saved the coordinates of the hiding place on a SIM card, but they also failed to find it. In the prison greenhouse, Macarena gets the work of the deceased Yolanda, where she is surprised to find the same SIM card and immediately returns it to its place. Annabelle keeps her promise, and her lawyer comes to the prison to meet with Macarena. After getting acquainted with the girl's case, the defense lawyer announces that she will be able to be released before the court's decision only if she pays 1 million euros. The girl does not have that kind of money, which causes her to have another panic attack. Macarena goes to a local doctor, Carlos, who gives her an injection with a powerful sedative. The strange doctor can hardly restrain himself from having fun with the beautiful girl. The prison director gathers all the staff of the block where the murder took place. In her office, Miranda angrily declares that the CCTV footage has been erased. Therefore, they have no suspects in the crime. The only thing that is clear is that the surveillance footage was deleted by one of the prison staff, becoming an accomplice in the cold-blooded murder. In the corridor, Macarena notices the prisoner handing Zulema a knife. She realizes that she could be in mortal danger. Annabelle declares that it is time to repay the debt and tells the girl to pick up a small bag for her in the yard late in the evening. She gives the girl a security card so that she can enter the courtyard unhindered. Macarena wants to refuse, but Annabelle threatens to tell Zulema that the girl has been speaking ill of her. The wardens notice on the CCTV cameras that the prisoners are passing sharp objects to each other and immediately run to the dining room to find and take away the weapons. Macarena panics as the card from the door to the courtyard is in her pocket. A curly-haired girl helps her and starts a fight, allowing Macarena to throw the card into a container of prison food. The prison director guesses that one of the staff members has entered into a criminal conspiracy with the prisoners, but cannot yet find out who it is. Miranda instructs Paloma to organize a full inspection of all the prison cells in her block. That evening, Macarena feels that she cannot hide the truth from her family any longer. She calls her mother and admits that she is facing 7 years in prison, as her ex-boyfriend brutally deceived her and framed her. Now nothing can be done. Macarena realizes that she needs to pay off her debt in order not to become a target for prisoners. While walking, she hides in a box of balls. At the appointed time, a drone arrives, and the girl picks up a package for Annabelle. She hides the package in her underwear and pretends that the other inmates have locked her in the box. She calls for help and the guards drag her outside. The director orders a search of Macarena and quickly discovers a bag of illegal substances. The girl is thrown into a punishment cell where she sees the exact same figure 8 on the wall as the one on her neighbor's arm. The girl will spend several weeks in this room. The next day, an inmate from the neighboring cell speaks to Macarena, and the inexperienced girl quickly confesses that she took the illegal substance for Annabelle, not realizing that the prison director is recording her every word. Macarena injures her arm and is sent to the prison hospital, where Carlos lovingly bandages her arm and says that she can stay here for a few days. In return, the doctor asks her to be kind to him and to run one errand. But he doesn't have time to continue, as Sol is brought into the hospital, whose heart has stopped, as she managed to drink a couple of sips of wine from the chapel's stocks. Fortunately, Carlos manages to save the imprisoned girl, who has a very serious heart problem. However, it is unlikely that a donor will ever be found for the imprisoned girl. The director says that Fabio, Palacios, or Paloma are accomplices in Yolanda's murder, and the police will definitely find out about it. The parents visit Macarena in prison. Although the father doesn't believe his daughter, he loves her very much, and he secretly gives her 500 euros, as money is everything in prison. At dinner, the angry prisoners spit on Macarena's plate of food. Fabio sees this and takes the plate away. Macarena decides to do something right in her life and confesses to the director that on the night of the murder, she saw Yolanda with Zulema in the chapel. During Yolanda's funeral, Sarai sits down with Macarena and menacingly warns her not to make plans for the curly-haired girl because she is her girlfriend. Fabio, meanwhile, comes to the conclusion that Paloma unwittingly helped Yolanda's killers. The boss confesses to the crime, as she was very afraid for the lives of her children. Fabio advises his colleague not to reveal herself to the police and tries to understand why Zulema needed to kill Yolanda. Carlos asks Macarena and the curly-haired girl to finish a dress for his daughter, as his wife is ill. In exchange, he offers the girls a package of sleeping pills and a pack of cigarettes. When Macarena gives the doctor the finished dress, he additionally rewards her with useful medicine and comfortable underwear. Carlos tells Macarena to take the medicine and change in the office, while the doctor himself watches the prisoner. Macarena complains to Sol and the curly-haired girl about the preoccupied doctor. They laugh in response, explaining that Carlos is very fond of young girls. Macarena accidentally lets slip that she told the director everything about Zulema. In response, the girls warn Macarena that her family is now in mortal danger, as Zulema's fiancé is a real monster. Zulema summons Macarena to her cell and threatens to kill her parents. Macarena can't take it anymore and shouts that she told the director that she saw Zulema and Yolanda on the night of the murder. Zulema realizes that she needs to find an excuse. She takes out her hidden phone and calls her fiancé. Macarena knows that her parents are in mortal danger, so she calls her father. However, the father himself is hunting in the underground parking lot for his daughter's dastardly boss who set her up. Convinced that his daughter is telling the truth, the father threatens the boss with a gun and orders him to bring $1 million in cash the next morning. Zulema's fiancé rides his motorcycle into the parking lot and kills Paloma with a precise shot, leaving the two children without a mother.